After a 99-win regular season, the 2005 Chicago White Sox win their first World Series in almost 100 years.
Charges throws out, and the White Sox have won the World Series.
Since that day, the White Sox are a combined 1,444 and 1694, with only 6 winning seasons in the last 20 years. And that 2005 team feels forgotten. Today, I give the world something unforgettable. In this video, we will return back to the top of the mountain and win the first World Series since 2005. Let's get started rebuilding the White Sox. I have got a 3-part plan for this video. Phase 1 is all about talent acquisition. I have got to scout and draft effectively and figure out this new trade hub. In Phase 2, we supplement that talent, filling in the holes and going after bigger free agents. And finally, and most importantly, Phase 3, winning. And of course, this rebuild is going to be done in MLB The Show 26. It's finally here, and I'm so excited to get going. I have got some rebuilds planned for this year that you have never seen before, so make sure if you enjoy this video, you subscribe, because I promise you, you are going to love what comes later in the year. As you can see, we're starting from pretty much the bottom. I don't think the White Sox are the worst team in the league right now, but they're not too far from it. We'll get to the draft in a minute here, but I actually have an idea before we even get started, as I started this year in spring training. As of the time of me recording this, there is a free agent still available by the name of Lucas Giolito, which is honestly surprising to me. He's a pretty good pitcher, 75 overall with B potential, and I think at this point he would be willing to sign with the White Sox. The reason I want to sign him is because we have pretty much no trade capital on this team right now, so when it comes time for the deadline and we want to work on talent acquisition, I need some more players, valuable players to play with. 2 years, $24 million, I think that's pretty fair, and that's about what the White Sox gave Seranthony Dominguez. So let's make this deal. Let's get season number 1 underway here and really start getting into this rebuild. The most important part of talent acquisition is going to be this first draft class, because these are going to be the guys that really become our best players down the road. But the problem is I have no idea what I'm doing. This is a completely new game, and honestly, looking at these profiles right now, it feels like I'm reading this in a different language. And my plan for this first overall pick is to take the best pitcher in the class. So hopefully I'm able to scout effectively, but I'm a little bit worried already. While we're scouting for new talent, let me tell you about a few guys that I want to build around, our current talent on this roster. There are 3 left-handed hitters that I like a lot, starting with shortstop Colson Montgomery. He's got some good power and some great defense. The other plate skills still need some work. Next up, we have catcher and left fielder Kyle Teel, who is a little bit more of a platoon bat. He's much better against righties, but he's also got beat potential, and he's got some quirks. I'm feeling pretty good about Kyle Teel. And then we have the wild card, Munetaka Murakami. Coming over from Japan in the offseason to the White Sox, his power is undeniable, but the question is, will the rest of his plate skills develop enough for him to stay on this team long term? He's on a 2-year deal, so we're going to find that out over the next couple of seasons. Am I going to have to trade him, or will we be able to extend him long-term as a centerpiece of our franchise? My very first week of scouting in MLB The Show 26, baby steps of a long journey for me and the White Sox. Unfortunately, this right fielder fell down the board. However, Alberto Mata is moving up the board a little bit here. He's the best pitcher in the class right now, and I also just discovered Pablo Manuel, a college pitcher with high potential. It looks like Discovery is good in this game once again. What's not good is our team. We are falling even further down here to 7-14, and now we are in last place. I don't think that's going to be getting any better anytime soon, but that's good because I wouldn't mind another high draft pick next season. And let's just keep scouting and drafting, and I'll let you know how we're looking as we get closer to the draft. Ahead to week 9 now, I'm looking at the central region for our pitchers, and there's a new number 1 player in the class here, 19-year-old Craig Jarvis. I still don't really know what I'm looking at here, to be honest with you, but it seems like he's just pretty well-rounded and has some good hits per 9 versus lefties and Ks per 9 versus righties. I'm not sure if you've heard, but walks per 9 is no longer in this game, and I think it's been replaced by control. So for now, I'm going to assume that that is the stat that's going to be most important, but I really don't know yet. Murakami's doing just okay. He's cold right now, but I'm kind of impressed with the on-base percentage. I'm a little disappointed in the slugging. I would have thought it would have been the other way around, honestly. The good news is that Giolito's pitching very well, so hopefully somebody's interested in him as we get closer to the deadline. We're 24-40, so we're definitely going to be selling as much as we can. As I continue to scout Craig Jarvis's profile, he's just getting better and better, so maybe he is the number one player. That potential range just might be too good to pass up, even if the control is only okay. There are plenty of options though, so we'll have to see as we get closer to the draft. And now that I've gotten to the middle of June, it's time to look at the new trade hub. At first, this is pretty overwhelming, but I'm excited that I've got some new things to play with here and try to figure out, and trading definitely needed some love, which it got this year. We'll see how good it actually is. I also set up my trading block here with Dominguez, Giolito, Hayes, and Benintendi. And I need to put some untouchables here. We know the guys we want to build around, including Colson Montgomery, maybe even Shane Smith, but I'll leave him off for now. Murakami's definitely going on there, as well as Kyle Teal. I don't really know how any of this works or what's going to happen now, but we'll figure it out. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen a trade come through just yet. We're all the way towards the end of June, and it looks like no other team has really made a blockbuster move. I'm going back to the block to see if maybe we can make the first move, but for some reason I can't go make a trade right from the guys on my targets. That doesn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense. The market sentiment is telling me that it's a buyer's market, which is not great for us. We're sellers. The Pirates are in go for it mode, allegedly, and maybe they would trade me center fielder Edward Florentino for Andrew Benintendi. I don't know. Let me throw our hat in the ring here and let's see what happens. You can't make the trades instantaneously, so they have to think about it and come back to us. All right, let's see. Are we going to hear about this trade? We are, and it was rejected. The Pirates say they would be happy to revisit the offer if it significantly improves. Okay, that's fair. Meanwhile, the Mets gave us an offer here. Boston Barrow for Austin Hayes, who's a free agent to be. He's their number 5 ranked prospect here, a 21-year-old infielder with C potential. He can play all the spots in the infield. We don't need short, but we could use second and third. Before I do this though, let's try and counter. Instead of that, would they give me their number 3 ranked prospect, Mitch Voit? Again, I really have no idea. I'm just trying to understand how this is going to work. Okay, they accepted it. Mitch Voit for Austin Hayes. It seems like the counter was the move. We'll come back to the trade market. Let's go to the first draft of the video. Let me just reiterate that this first draft pick is critically important to the future of this video, and I'm stuck between 2 guys. The number 1 player in the class is Craig Jarvis, but as I mentioned before, the control is just okay, and I think that's going to be really important. I'm between him and Sam Connolly, who as you can see has very nice control and also has a good potential range. He is ranked 4th in the class. I didn't quite finish his profile. Starting this draft now, it's a really tough call, but I think I'm going to go with Craig Jarvis. The potential range of 85 to 97 is just too good to pass up, and I want to get a future ace on this team that we can believe in. He looks super well-rounded. This is going to be the first overall pick and my first pick in MLB The Show 26, starting pitcher Craig Jarvis. In the second round, I really want to get this utility guy, Brian Chen. This is the only good position player that I found that moved up the board, so I definitely want to secure him. So simming ahead to the next pick, he is still on the board. I say I want him, but he did start at draft rank 116, so maybe he would fall to our next pick. Let's go with Bruce Hickey, and I'm thinking he's going to have a potential. Okay, now will Brian Chen be here for the 3rd pick? He is. No question about it, pick number 3, second baseman and utility man, Brian Chen. I've lost a lot of the guys that I really wanted at this point, but I think those top 3 are going to be really good. The AL defeats the NL in the All-Star game, and I see that Kyle Teal was voted in as a catcher. He's having a pretty nice year halfway through this season with a 773 OPS. And to my surprise, he's actually doing pretty well against lefties in terms of batting average, but really all of his production and power is coming from the right side. Unfortunately, Colson Montgomery was not voted in. Shortstop is a little bit more loaded up, but he does have an 824 OPS so far this season through 92 games, looking pretty good. He's already put up 4 WAR. He is definitely going to be the centerpiece and best player of this team for a long time. Now, how is Murakami doing? Not good. It's kind of hard to tell with the way the stats are loaded in right now, but it seems like maybe he's losing some contact and power, but in the bottom right, he's added some discipline. That is good. But if he keeps playing like this, he is not going to be the centerpiece of this team that I want him to be. In the meantime, our first blockbuster just went down. The Tigers traded for Aroldis Chapman, and they gave up a C potential catcher. Another massive trade here, and it's the Red Sox again. They're trading Ranger Suarez, who they just signed in the offseason for 5 years. That one I'm not so sure about. Okay, new plan. What if we traded Giolito and Derek Hill to the Astros for Xavier Nyans, a power-hitting third baseman and utility guy. I don't know if this is going to work either, but I'm just throwing shit at the wall. Okay, that one got accepted, and the Astros are pretty excited about that. If you're handing out deals like this, we're absolutely accepting. Did I just get fleeced? He's our number 6 ranked prospect, but he was the number 1 ranked prospect for the Astros. I felt like that was a pretty good deal. If I had more capital to give away like the Padres do, maybe I could have got somebody like Max Clark, but that wasn't happening for us this year. Now the question is, did I add some good pitching talent through the MLB draft? Let's take a look at my first ever draft picks, and I'm pretty happy with this. It seems like Craig Jarvis was the right pick. 92 potential, 65 overall, 19 years old, just very well rounded. He's got good hits per 9 versus lefties and then good Ks per 9 versus righties, which is kind of an interesting combo. I'm really happy with this pick, and I think Craig Jarvis is going to be a future ace on this team, but don't take it from me. Let's hear from an expert.
Okay, next up, we're going to talk about a huge draft pick, Craig Jarvis, 19 years old, first overall pick out of South Dakota, extremely rare, never had a draft pick out of South Dakota this high. He's an interesting case, 5'11", 197-pound right-handed pitcher, but comes with a crazy pitch mix right off the rip, four-seam at 96 with good movement, a cutter at 94 with above-average break, that might be his best pitch, slider at 89 to tunnel off of that, and a changeup at 84 with huge drop. I've seen this guy get compared to Corbin Burns, but in the truth, he might be a little bit of a unicorn. This kid, considering his size and his velocity and his pitch mix at his age, is truly unique. Whoever taught him to pitch in the barn in South Dakota did a fantastic job, and I'm really excited for the White Sox to go ahead and develop this guy. If he can get up there quickly, that would be absolute magic for this club, as his potential is that of a true ace. Cannot wait to watch Craig Jarvis's development here this season.
Thanks for the breakdown, Otto. And guys, please go check out his channel, Baseball and Coffee. It is one of the best baseball channels on YouTube. Link in the description. Craig Jarvis was not our only good pick in this draft. We also got Bruce Hickey and Alexi Torrero, both starting pitchers with above 90 potential. Wesley Holton was a miss, unfortunately, but I'm super glad that I was able to get utility man Brian Chen with 88 potential. I got the most important things done here for this year, and I'm pretty happy with how it went down overall. We are 42 and 69. Time to just sim to the end of this season and get to our first offseason. 60 and 102. That is worse than I thought. I figured we'd be maybe around 68 to 70 wins. We ended up being the third worst offense in terms of runs scored. And in terms of ERA, we were second worst, so we're not really good at anything right now. The good news is that Teal and Montgomery both had solid years, although Montgomery ended up with a 750 OPS. He kind of cooled off towards the end of the year. Murakami did improve towards the end of the year, getting to a 707 OPS, even though every time I checked on him, he seemed to be cold. Ultimately, his contact did improve, and so did the discipline, but the vision is really struggling. There's really nothing notable on the pitching side here. Seranthony Dominguez, our closer, finished with a 4.18 ERA. I wasn't able to trade him this year, so we'll have to look to trade him next season. Now, simming to the end of the year, the Dodgers defeat the Mariners. Can you believe it? New game, same old results. It's now time to get into full GM mode and start rebuilding this team. All right, in this first offseason, I think the best move we can make is to sign Tarek Scoop. Of course not. We are going to be bargain hunting. We are not in go for it mode yet. So for our free agents this year, there's 3 guys I'm looking at. Jake Fraley to play right field, Zach Littell for a starter, and Gregory Soto as a reliever. I made a trade offer to the Rays to get Yoendris Gomez, who has some good control, relief pitcher, and they just countered me and they want Andrew Benintendi. This is surprising coming from the Rays, but I am absolutely willing to make this deal to get that payroll off of our books. There are some guys here that I want to extend long-term, but we're not in position to do that just yet. Colson Montgomery, Kyle Teal, these are definitely guys that should be here for the long haul, but we're still in phase 1 of this rebuild. Wait a sec. Can I do this on auto? I can. Okay, well, we'll see if this works, and if it does, this is probably the best new feature in the entire game.
And it's so packed in here.
Scooble's not going to be a White Sox. He's going to be a Blue Jay, 6-year, 270. I think he beats that in real life next year. Okay, this team is not good, but it's definitely better than last year. I like some of the moves here. Jake Fraley should be decent out there in right, and I'm also going to be platooning Kyle Teal and Edgar Cuero, our other young catcher, who is very good against lefties, 95 contact. Where we're going to struggle is with the pitching staff. This starting rotation has A long way to go, but hopefully Zach Littell pitches well either for us or as a trade. And then in the bullpen, I've got some guys in here that I can definitely trade, and I'm making sure this year that Seranthony Dominguez is closing. I don't think he was getting a lot of saves last year. Hopefully that will increase his value for us because this is the last year of his 2-year, $10 million per year deal. Really, this year is all about Munetaka Murakami. Is he going to perform well enough to keep him on this team, or am I going to have to trade him, which would suck because he is the thumbnail of this video? It all kicks off today against the Athletics for opening day. We're going to have to face their very good lineup. And we are facing Chris Bubic, a very good lefty who I signed in my one-man-only video with Vladdy Jr. Miguel Vargas leading off here, takes that one. Hang on a second. Shea Langoliers wants another look. This is a fun subplot this year. The ABS system coming in, and that is a ball. Eye of the Tiger for Vargas. He draws a walk. Here comes Chase Mydroth, and look at this, base hit into right. Good young player here with some nice contact. We got 2 runners on second and third with nobody out here. The boys are fired up. Whole new squad. Lennon Sosa, that is flown out into right for the third out. We don't score anything, and that would be a bad sign as Shane Smith takes the mound. Former Rule 5 pickup by the White Sox. They actually cooked here. Got to credit them with that. Here's the pitch to Carlos Cortez. That's out to left. Deep. Track, going to the wall, jumping, and it is over the wall. Minor league ballpark, 1-0, and it wouldn't get any better from there. We actually got destroyed 8-0 by the Ace. Unfortunately, Jake Fraley is already hurt. This is a guy who is very injury prone, so I knew the risks when I signed him, and it's coming to bite me already. Several guys off to a good start here, none better than Kyle Teal, and I also see Murakami looking pretty good in the early going with 3 home runs already. If he can just tear the cover off the ball, I'm not as worried about the .219 batting average. This time for our talent acquisition, I still want to find some more pitchers. You can never have enough pitching talent in the farm system, that's for sure. And there's some good ones at the top of the board, but with our 3rd overall pick this year, I want to get an A potential position player. There's 2 guys that I like in the early going. Center fielder John McGowan, because right in the middle here, he has zeros for power, seems to have elite contact and plate skills to go around that. This is the type of player that I really like. Craig Jarvis made his debut today in the minors in Double-A. He went 5 innings, only giving up 2 hits, 1 run. He did have 5 walks, but he had 7 strikeouts. If he can rate in that command, he is showing some great potential. Unfortunately, after a week of scouting here, Blanco's fallen down the board as far as I've ever seen for someone who started ranked 7th, so he is not going to be the guy. Or is he? I'm going to take the time to scout him again to make sure they're not throwing curveballs at us this year. Meanwhile, the team is playing okay, but we're really just beating the bad teams like the Cardinals and the Nationals, and we're losing to teams like the Tigers and the Blue Jays. But sitting at 500 in the early going, not bad. The big difference this year has been in the pitching staff so far. Some of our starters have been really good, and a few of the bullpen arms have also been very solid. None better than Seranthony Dominguez, who I do have on the trading block. And yeah, Blanco, not good. Let's take a look at that contact hitting center fielder John McGowan next. All right, after finishing McGowan's profile, he's looking really good. I think this is the guy that I want to take with the 3rd pick, as long as he doesn't get taken ahead of me, which is very possible. He just looks like a great player with some good speed, defense, and some great contact and plate skills. I'm going to start looking towards the middle of the class now and see what else we can find there. We have finally started to come back down to earth here, now under 500 as we start to play better teams, but I'm happy with what we showed here early in this season. Murakami has me worried though. His OPS is down at 666. That is not a good sign, the devil's number. He's got to start to turn this around as soon as possible. For right now, our rivals on the north side, the Cubs, are dominating us. They just swept us, including putting up 13 in the final game, but mark my words, we are coming back for revenge. Back to our primary focus of talent acquisition here, I just found a late round gem for us in Scott Presley, and I did use similar methods to my late round gem video, so it looks like so far I at least have some kind of idea what I'm doing here. And I think there could be 3 potential late round gem catchers here all in a row, so I'm going to start moving to that position next. Trades are starting to go down here, including Zach Wheeler going to the Brewers for 2 really good prospects. And I think that is my cue to get back over to the trading block. I guess I know a little bit more about this now, but I still feel pretty lost. Plus, I've learned that there's some deception in here now, which is interesting to me. I like that, but I'm also worried that I might screw something up pretty bad. I've been experimenting with trades once again at the deadline here and just not having any success. I've just continued to ask for a little bit too much. Yep, I asked for too much once again. I'm trying to find what the outer bound is here and then draw myself back after that. I've noticed that there are a lot of untouchables, like some teams seem to have half their roster as untouchables. Do Mitch Ferris and Kiter Montero really need to be untouchables? I guess I just don't have the capital to get anything done in the trades because it takes somebody like O'Neal Cruz in order to get a B-level prospect. Hopefully the scouting works out at least because the number 1 player in the class is McGowan. We pick at number 3. I really hope I can get him. This guy looks like he could be a game changer. Let's get this draft going. This is really key. I need John McGowan to fall to the 3rd pick. After that, I've got a ton of pitchers and some good discovery ones in here that hopefully I can get later. And my best mid-round plays are these 2 third basemen, Mario Vega and Scott Presley. They both should have high potential. Unfortunately, none of the catchers I looked at were that great, but I still have them on the board. The countdown for McGowan begins right now. The 1st overall pick is Jarvis King, and the 2nd overall pick is Pablo Castellano. Something went my way here. McGowan with some excellent contact and speed and also shows some really good discipline as well. I think this guy is going to be our best position player on the team in a few years. Unfortunately, my board got smoked after that because a lot of the pitchers that I really liked are gone. Robert Horn is the 18th ranked pitcher in the class with a very nice potential range and good control. I'm going to take him here with the 2nd overall pick, or 2nd pick for us. Good news, Scott Presley is still here. I'm not even going to hesitate. I'm liking this draft so far. I think that means it's time to take a risk here and go for a closer who has got some zeros in the profile here. He's 18 years old, did not scout him. We'll see. Can he hurt? We'll see. I'm surprised at how much my board got wiped out, so I don't think my last 2 picks are going to be that good, and I'll just go ahead and finish out the draft. All-star this year is Colson Montgomery. He's continuing to show some power. He's not batting for much average at all, though. This year he's got 2.1 WAR at the break. Let's see if he can turn it around and get to 4.4 I think he had last season. This is the best player on our team right now, so I really want him to play well. All right, I was able to make a trade, finally. Seranthony Dominguez and Corey Lee for Ethan Conrad. Yes, I traded with the Cubs. I don't really know if that's taboo, but as far as I'm concerned, these 2 teams are in just completely different thresholds right now. And I do like Ethan Conrad. He's got some pretty good contact and defense out there in the outfield. All right, I got another one. This time, Jared Kelenic and Gregory Soto going for Eric Hartman. Kelenic, by the way, was actually really good this year. All right, the moment is here. Talent acquisition will continue until morale improves. Time to view our draft picks and get on with the rest of this season. I'm really excited to see if John McGowan is as good as I think he is, and he is even better. 96 potential. What a player here coming out of Iowa. This guy is going to be really good. He's going to go for batting titles. He's got major league ready contact already. We've just got to improve his power a little bit. In fact, this whole class is filled with quite a lot of potential, even that closer that I didn't scout. Kenny Hurt, 67 overall with 94 potential. We've got somebody we can believe in at the back end of the bullpen down the road. I do have to admit that I really wish that they still had the blue color in here. I feel like that just looked nice, but having all this green is making me pretty happy. The talent acquisition phase is going well. Another solid draft there, and the team is actually playing a lot better, 54 and 60 right now. With 2 months left in the season, we're already almost at our win target from all of last year. We're not going to be a playoff team, especially because we're having a really rough August so far, but we are heading in the right direction. Unfortunately, with the month left into the year, Jake Fraley is hurt once again. This guy cannot seem to stay on the field. It's frustrating because he has really good contact against righties and above average fielding as well. He's a very solid all-around player, and I just want him to play well for us. It's not been a great 2027 for Fraley, but hopefully next year he's a little better and healthier in 2028. Before finishing out this season, taking a look at Craig Jarvis in Double-A with 160 innings pitched, 3.02 ERA and a 1.21 WHIP, probably good enough to get him in a Triple-A next season. The Yankees take down the Dodgers in the 2027 World Series. And time is going by here. 2 new inductees to the Hall of Fame, Kenley Jansen and Paul Goldschmidt. Look at this season from Aaron Judge here in 2027. 69 home runs, 171 RBI. He is currently on a run of 4 straight MVPs, 5 total. And in the NL, Acuna takes down Ohtani, back-to-back MVPs here for the Braves. Talent acquisition has gone very well so far. We now have the number 1 ranked prospect in the league in John McGowan. We also have Pena here at the 5th spot, Kenny Hurt in the 6th spot, and Craig Jarvis, to my surprise, is down to 11th. He was at 3rd at some point last year. At this point, I think it makes a lot of sense to extend Colson Montgomery as he's now eligible for arbitration and he's our best player. I'm honestly surprised how little he's asking for. 6 years, $12 million per year is an absolute steal. I'm actually going to give Montgomery 7 years. I didn't realize he had one more year of renewable, and I want to go ahead and get him through age 33. As far as Teal, he did put up 4 WAR last year, so if he can repeat that next season, he is going to get an extension. I'm going to try to trade for Leo DeVry to be our long-term third baseman. This is the big trade I'm eyeing here during this offseason. He's listed as a shortstop, but has some good secondaries here. He can even play center field for us long-term. I'll find a spot for him. This is a really good prospect. This is the big trade I'm eyeing because I'm looking at trading Shane Smith, who is asking for about $10.5 million in arbitration this year, and I don't think his value is going to be any higher for us than it is right now. Smith was pretty good last year, but I could fill that hole with a veteran and let some of the younger guys like Schultz and Hagen Smith come up, and let's see how they can do. Before we start really ramping up into a dominant team, I want to at least get to 500 this year, and I think where we're going to find our edge based on the last few seasons is in the bullpen, so that's where I'm going to spend most of my money in free agency. Okay, the A's accepted this trade. This is a blockbuster. Leo DeVry is coming to the South Side. I need him to improve his offense a little more before we get to the show here, so I'm going to let him keep working on it in the minors, and he may even join us by September call-ups, but for sure going forward, he's going to be a huge key to our success. Meanwhile, for us, Colson Montgomery accepted his deal, which is going to be very, very good for us. I can't believe he wasn't asking for some more money. As far as Murakami, I kind of had to overpay him. It was a little weird with the contracts with him being a free agent coming from Japan. So it is going to be a challenge for him to be worth $10.8 million, but hopefully he finally starts to reach up towards his max potential, which I believe is at 88. Probably our last chance at a decently high draft pick here. We're at 11th coming off that 71 win season, so we'll see if we get lucky and move up, because I think after this, we may not have another pick in the top 10 for the rest of the video. At least, I hope. And we end up staying at 11. Looking around the league, some of the teams that are struggling, the Phillies and the Red Sox both only had 67 wins last year. I also see our rivals across town here, the Cubs over there with 93 wins last year. I decided to shell out the money to bring in Will Vest as our closer, who is coming off of a down year and hopefully can bounce back with us in high leverage here. He caps off a bullpen with a pretty new look, some new faces in here that I'm hoping will help us get closer to 500, if not better than that. The rotation has a couple of question marks. Burke, Cannon, and Littell were all solid last year, but it's up to Noah Schultz and Hagen Smith, our 2 young lefties, to really be difference makers. Both of these guys look pretty good overall. Their control is still in the mid-50s, which worries me, but I'm thinking the fact that they're left-handed is going to give them a pretty good advantage. And I don't hate this lineup. We're pretty much running it back from last year, and hopefully these guys continue to improve and impress, especially Montgomery and Murakami. I added Santiago Espinal for some depth on the bench here, and then brought up Braden Montgomery here, who is going to hit against lefties, so he is going to be making his major league debut this season. 5-3 start here. I'm liking what I'm seeing right out of the gates. 11th pick, I don't really care too much if it's a starter or a reliever. I just want the highest potential, the best player that we can possibly get as we get into our final year of having this opportunity towards the top of the draft. I'm definitely getting more accustomed to the player profiles. I do think a lot of what I learned from last year still applies, but I've got a lot of learning left to do. First guy I scouted, it looks like I found another potential blue chip player here, moving up to second in the class. First baseman Fernando Del Villar, who looks like a certified hitter. We're straddling around 500 here, but we did just take this series from the Cubs, starting to see some supremacy on the South Side. 2 months in, and check out Murakami's start to the year, a 1. OPS. Are we finally seeing the breakout? He is still striking out quite a bit, but he's walking a lot, and obviously the power is elite and starting to come through here. 633 slugging. He's got 18 home runs in 57 games. And so far the rotation is looking pretty good outside of our rookie Hagen Smith. It seems like Noah Schultz is taking to the majors a lot sooner than Smith is. Big trade here. Buxton has only got 1 year left, so for a rental, headed over to Kansas City in division here, and they're trading away 2 A potential players to get this done. Kansas City is in first place, but we are only a game and a half back right now. This is a huge improvement, and meanwhile the Twins are 32 games under 500 already. We've got 340 runs, but if you look towards the top here, the upper echelon of the league, the Dodgers and the Yankees are already above 420. ERA-wise, we are in 4th. That is where we're really seeing the jump for us this season. Took me a while to find this guy working through the positions, but I think we've got a generational talent on our hands here. If I think about what I used to do in the previous game, which I have a guide on, you can kind of see that from contact down to power, this player's profile looks like it's descending. I will scout him just to make sure my strategies from last year still apply, but you can see the descending style for his hitting stats, from contact being the highest down to power being the lowest. The fielding is very well rounded, and in the top right is a 0 for stealing, one of the biggest giveaways. If this guy is generational, I don't think much has changed between 25 and 26. And after a week of scouting, his profile looks very similar to what we would see last year, so I'm pretty confident this guy's generational. He also has some good positional flexibility too. I'm not going to finish his profile. I believe this guy's going to be a gen talent. Let's look at some other players to finish out this draft class. Heading into draft number 3, we are 1 game above 500, 5.5 games out of first place. Let's go see if we can get some more talent in the final draft of the acquisition phase. I am at the mercy of the 10 teams ahead of me as to whether or not Clarence Gaucho is going to fall to our pick. I'm almost certain he's generational, and I would give us about a 10% chance of getting him. If I can't get him, I really would love to get Fernando Del Villar. I think he's going to be similar to our first rounder from last year with mid to high A potential. If both of those guys are gone, then center fielder CJ Valentin is a college player and probably has A potential, a lot of speed, and just a well-rounded player. He wouldn't be a bad pick. But I've also got some great pitchers to choose from here as well, so we'll just have to see who is left for me. Let's see how smart the CPU is this year. Gaucho goes second overall. And there goes Valentin to my surprise. We'll have to wait 7 more picks for Del Villar. Only 1 more to go. Here come the Marlins in 3, 2, 1. Del Villar falls to our pick. Rising from 28th to 2nd, the 18-year-old first baseman and left fielder is most likely going to be really, really good. Not thinking twice about it, Del Villar is our 3rd first rounder of the video. Second round here with pick number 48, I like Aiden Bove, starting pitcher, went from 121st to 31st in the class, and I only got halfway through the profile. He looks like a very well-rounded lefty, should have A potential. I like this pick here too. I'm going for another starter here in round 3. I just can't pass up Steve Gale. He went from 86 to 11th, and look at the potential range, 85 to 99. This is going to be my 3rd selection. My board got wiped out a little bit now to pick 147. I'm still holding off on this Discovery guy who is not the injured one. I think we can get him, but Kevin Vergara is probably also going to be a late round gem. Good contact, well-rounded, no outlier stats. I didn't finish the profile, but I feel pretty good about Kevin here. Is Devin Lopez going to stay all the way to our last pick? He is. That is how I'm going to finish out this draft. I think that was really, really good. Even though we're in second place at the break here, we're quite a ways out of the wild card, 4.5 games behind. Not looking super likely that we'll make the playoffs. I may need to look for some trades here, but as far as the all-star voting, let's see who we've got here. Kyle Teal is an all-star. He is batting .336 so far this season. He's already got 4 WAR at the halfway point. I think he's going to get an extension in the offseason. Our other all-star is Jake Fraley, who is finally healthy and having a great season. And he is most likely somebody that I need to trade because it doesn't look like we're making the playoffs, and this is his last year on the team. The Brewers are going for it here, and I'm going to try to trade Fraley and Santiago Espinal to them for Andrew Fisher, a power hitting prospect who is on the trading block. That trade is accepted. Okay, he was also part of the rumors, which maybe that means they were extra motivated to trade him because I think this was close to getting over the line. It was tough for me to sell since we're around 500, but we're 6.5 games behind the Royals, and you already saw that we're probably not making the wild card. Also keeping you updated on our young pitcher, Hagen Smith here. It's not working out for him this year in the majors, so I'm going to put him back down to AAA. We'll let him continue to sharpen up his skills. I want to let the young guys play, but I don't want them to struggle to the point where they might lose their potential. On the other hand, Schultz is taken to the majors right away here with a 3.09 ERA. Is there a world where Will Vest goes for Landon Knack? I don't know, but he's our other valuable guy, so I'm going to give it a shot. Knack is not in the Dodgers rotation right now. They've got so much depth at starting pitcher that maybe they're willing to make this move because they're looking for a good reliever. Apparently they considered it. Maybe I could sweeten the pot just a little bit. Let me try to throw a left field prospect in there. It seems like that's what they're looking for because they already have major league level left fielders, and maybe this will get it over the line. All right, there we go. The very next day they got back to me. I'm starting to figure this thing out a little bit. Knack should be pretty good for us for a while, and he's already got 5 more years of team control. Feeling good about this. What I'm feeling even better about is this draft class. I think I absolutely nailed this. Let's see if this is as good as I think it is. And we got 99 potential for Fernando Del Villar. Not even a generational prospect. 72 overall, 99 potential. I mean, that's pretty close to generational right there. The 18-year-old first baseman and left fielder out of Puerto Rico already has major league level contact. He is going to absolutely tear the cover off the ball. And now I'm not worried at all at the fact that we missed out on Gaucho, who is a true generational talent at 77 overall with 99 potential, but our guy is 72 overall with 99 potential. This is kind of a new build. I don't know if I've ever had somebody not generational starting out at 72 overall. And Del Villar is not the only great player that I got in this draft class. Look at Bove and Gale, both starters with above 90 potential and 97 for Gale. I would say Vergara counts as a late round gem here, this right fielder, but the second baseman, David Chang, is kind of a miss here, 49 overall with 86 potential. And then in the final round here, I got an 84 potential starter, so nothing too special there. But again, these top three are really good picks. And remember, we're adding these guys to the farm system that is already ranked #1 in the league. Absolutely insane draft class, and we're still hanging around 500 here this year, which is exactly what I wanted to do. I don't think we'll make the playoffs, but we are really looking great for the next two phases. Almost done with this season. I had to check on Craig Jarvis, and it looks like he ended up struggling here in AAA with about a 5 ERA, so unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to join us for next year. Final record this year, 1 game above 500, 82 and 80. I managed to meet our goal while getting more talent and making some good moves at the trade deadline. Simming to the offseason, the Mariners take down the Braves in the 2028 World Series. Our first rounder from last year, Fernando Del Villar, has a new name. Congrats to Tyler Stevenson for winning the poll on my channel. You were the only person to correctly guess the White Sox. Now, you did not include the name, which I did have as a requirement, but because you were the only person to get it right, I forgive you, and you are now immortalized in this rebuild. With this season done, it's finally time for Phase 2, Supplementing Talent. At this point, we have one of the best farm systems that this game has ever seen. It's time to get ourselves into go mode and start going after some bigger free agents. We can supplement the current young guys on the roster with veterans that are going to help us become a really dominant team in this league. Yordan Alvarez. Ever heard of him? My favorite hitter in the game is available in free agency. I also want a front of the rotation starter to be there as our young talent comes up to flank him, and I'm thinking Cole Reagans. The clutch is a little bit low, but to me that's not as important as really any of the other stats, and he's a lefty, which you know I like in the rotation. It's going to cost about $65 million for both of these guys per year, so I'm going to focus on them right now, and we'll figure out the rest later. As I work on those free agents, I'll make some other moves on the roster here, starting with locking up Kyle Teal for 5 more seasons. He put up almost 6 WAR last year. It looks like Yordan is going to be a great fit, and he wants to be in pinstripes, which is really, really promising to me. So let me go ahead and offer him a deal right away. I'm going to give him 6 years, and I'll bump it up a little bit to $40 million, and let's see what he thinks. Here we go. The biggest free agent in White Sox history. Yordan Alvarez, and not yet. And we're not going to get another chance. He is going to the Brewers for 9 years. That is a big one. This is a guy that I always want. The best hitter in the game is headed to Milwaukee. New target acquired. Ronald Acuna Jr. Ever heard of him? I don't think I'm going to get a chance with Acuna either, but let's give him a deal here. Last minute contract opportunity. I'll give him 8 years at $41 million. I think this is the largest contract that I have ever given out in MLB The Show. White Sox, by far the largest contract in their history. Let's see what he thinks, and it is a phone. He is heading to the Cubs. What the hell? This is not going my way so far. We've got another now or never for O'Neal Cruz, but at 34% motivation, I'm not even going to give this one a chance. And he is going to Kansas City. Next in line is Riley Green. I like that he's only 28 years old and he's asking for quite a bit less money. He's a really good hitter, good defender, still a good option. Kansas City is interested in both of the guys that I want now, including Cole Ragans. It's time to offer him a deal, 6 years, and I'm going to bump it up here to, let's go for $31 million. I don't want the Royals to snipe him, and that's where he's coming from. 5% boost, that is huge. All right, can we finally land somebody here? A new ace, Cole Ragans. Looking for pens, and we got him. Phase 2 has officially begun. We are supplementing the rotation with Cole Ragans. The time is now. I've got to give Riley Greene a big deal, and if I've learned anything about the guys that have beaten me out so far, we need to bump this up to 6 years, and I'm going to even sweeten the pot a little bit to $29.25, and just pray that we can finally land our outfielder. I've seen this page a few too many times in this long, challenging offseason. Riley Greene, do you want to be a White Sox? He doesn't. Thankfully, it looks like we'll get another chance. I'm going to sweeten the pot up to $30 million this time. Here we go again. I'm not sure how much more I can take. And there we go. 6 years, $30 million per year. Riley Greene, welcome to the South Side. Just before we get into the season, another big trade going down here. Rafael Devers to the Yankees with 5 years still left on his deal. Going forward, I may have to turn the sliders down a little bit for trades. There's just been some stuff that is hard to believe. This right here is the best lineup the White Sox have had in a long time. Riley Greene is not Yordan Alvarez, but he's still pretty good, and he is right there in the 3 spots, surrounded by guys that we've had for most of this video. 2 new faces here, Leo DeVry and John McGowan, both from the acquisition phase. DeVry, of course, through a trade, and then 19-year-old John McGowan, first rounder from last year, 2027, the number 3 prospect in the entire nation, is coming up. The rotation is also looking pretty good, with Ragans as our ace, Sean Burke coming off of a great year last year with about a 3.5 ERA, Noah Schultz and Jonathan Cannon have been here throughout this video, and then Landon Knack, who I traded for during last season. That's what we're looking at right now. I think next year's talent supplementing phase is going to be focusing more on the bullpen and maybe in the rotation, but the thing is, I've got all these other guys coming up in the rotation. Hagen Smith, Craig Jarvis, who we project to be an ace, and then tons more potential in AA and some guys working their way through high A. So I'll continue to add some free agents as needed, but we've also got by far the best farm system, maybe of all time, with 5 players, check that, 6 players in the top 10. Opening day, one of the best days of the year, and it's happening right now in real life too. We're headed to Citi Field with a new lineup, supplemented the talent with Riley Greene and young guys, DeVry and McGowan in the 8 and 9, and we're trying to take down Nolan McLean today. Very good young pitcher. Riley Greene's first at bat. Nope, that's a strikeout. Hope we don't see too many of those, as we now get to see Cole Ragans, who didn't have a great year last year, but the stats look good, and I think he's going to bounce back. Bo Bichette, that's out into left. That might get down. Greene tracking it over there, and he makes the catch. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how you farm gold gloves, something that Riley Greene is very good at in real life, always make it look harder than it actually is. This is a grounder to first, Murakami with a nice pick to end the inning, and a clean start here for Cole Ragans. As we go now to the top of the third, and John McGowan gets into one. There's a runner on first, and that ball is headed to the wall for extra bases. McGowan's first career hit is an RBI double. I'm hoping for big things this year, and coach, thank you, let's get that ball. We're not going to be done yet. Chase Mydroth out into right, that is deep, and that does get down for another double and another run. Runners on second and third, and now Colson Montgomery, our superstar, that's into left for a third run. Soto, of course, did have to insert himself into the discussion here in the bottom of the ninth, trying to make things interesting, but we're still up 2, and Brian Baker is our closer this year. Weak contact to third, over to first, in time, dub, opening day. Everything's really bunched up right now out of the gate. We'll see who separates as the year goes on. I've cooked again, found the first ranked player in the class. You know what I always say though, we pick at like 15 this year, so not sure I'm going to be able to get him. Looks like a catcher that's going to hit the shit out of the ball, so I'd love to get him, but I'm doubting it. If we can't get that number 1 ranked player in the class, maybe I can get the number 2 ranked player here, a pitcher. Scouting these guys individually, so far so good. 4 games set against Kansas City now. This is a big series. Lose game 1, win game 2, win game 3, and we end up taking 3 out of 4. We go on to win this series against Detroit here, and that puts us in first place. Acuna and Teal playing the best out of the gate here offensively. Leo DeVry, Baldwin, Martinez, and then you got Green here at a 756 and Montgomery at a 740 OPS. Gowan's a potential Rookie of the Year candidate here, and he's got a 732 OPS. It's just the power that we still need some development in here, but his contact is already getting into the green. Rotation's been really good so far. Only complaint here is with a couple of guys at the back end of the bullpen here between Myers, Brito, and Gomez. Not great. And now 2 months into the season, we're still in first place, 8 games above 500. With 32 wins, we're the second best team in the AL, just behind the Mariners with 37. There are some very good teams in the National League though: Phillies, Braves, Reds, Cubs, Dodgers, and the D-backs. It won't take long for us to be up at that level with guys like Craig Jarvis on the way up. Not to mention 99 potential Tyler Stevenson, the #1 prospect in the major leagues. Midway through June, the Tigers caught up to us, but we won 5 in a row here to finish the month and get back in first place, 3 games ahead of Detroit, and the Royals are starting to slip back a little bit. Right now, we're tied for 7th with the Yankees in terms of runs scored, and we're also in the top 10 for ERA here at 9th. I do see Cole Reagans is starting to struggle a bit. He was lights out to start the year, but his ERA's ballooned up to 4.5. Burke's been really good, Schultz has been good, Knack has been okay, and then Jonathan Cannon, just okay. And the bullpen's been fine, so it's about what I expected going into this year. We could definitely improve further on the pitching side, especially when our young guys come up. Continuing to scout pretty well here, and we just had a huge hit in Discovery, the 10th ranked player in the class, a left fielder, Matt Herzog. Pretty promising profile here. I'm hoping it's not too good to be true, but at least there's nothing on the hitting side that's outlier except for the power. But if he has this kind of profile right out of the gate, this guy could be special. After 1 week, he has moved up the board. I cannot wait to see this guy's final profile. He could be insane. Heading into the draft, we are 15 games above 500 and in really good shape. And the day of the draft, the Dodgers just traded for Lindor and Alvarez in the same trade. How is this even possible? I've got a great draft board here, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 8 ranked players. Herzog finished at 8 with an insane power profile. Several of my guys are gone, including number 3 ranked pitcher Sims here. Catcher Cosmo Benitez was the number 1 ranked player, almost fell to us, and then Herzog got sniped with the 9th pick. I still had the 2nd ranked player on the board, starting pitcher Cordero, so I went with him, and I'll show you the rest of the class here in the beginning of August. 2 All-Stars this year. Kyle Teal is in again, batting .329 so far. And our rookie outfielder, John McGowan, who is mostly DHing, is also voted in. Look at the contact, vision, clutch, and the discipline there in the bottom right. This guy's a certified hitter. Right now, he is the front runner for Rookie of the Year with a pretty strong lead. One main spot we can improve at the deadline is with our closer, and there are 2 excellent options on the board. The price, in terms of salary, is a little too high for me for Duran, but Munoz looks really fair at 11.5. To make this happen, it's got to hurt a little bit, and I've got to give up Brian Chen. At least I think this will work. I really like this guy. He was one of the first picks from this video. He's a utility player, just really solid prospect. But we've got depth in the farm at second base here, and I think this could get the job done. I was wrong. Unfortunately, that is not quite enough. I guess I have to make it hurt a little more and give up on Caleb Bonham here, who's a very good infield prospect, but at this point, he's not even ranked for us in the farm system. I have so much value I can give up. Let's see if this gets the job done. Okay, there we go. Bonham gets it across the line, and we've got a new closer in town. Pitch for pitch, Munoz is the best pitcher on our team by far, and I'm hoping that he can shut down the end of games for us. He's been having a great year, so I'm hoping we can just plug him in and have him help us get to a title. Nearly 20 games above 500 now. I really love this roster. We're looking great, and I think that this draft class is also going to be completely nuts. I didn't show you as much as usual, but during this big reveal, I think we're going to like it, and it's actually not quite as good as I thought, I have to say. We still got 3 A potential players here, 2 position players, and then our first rounder was this starter with 93 potential who's got a great build. The hits per 9 versus lefties is already at the major league level. 63 overall with 93 potential, so solid there. My 2 mid-round plays were good between Villa and Enriquez. As I flipped through the rest of the teams, this draft class did not look too good, so even though phase 1 is technically over, I'm still acquiring quite a bit of good talent. Calendar turns to September, and we're still in first place, holding off the Tigers. At this moment, we have got 5 guys with an OPS above 800. There's a deep lineup here. Riley Green is heating up, and Luis Angel Acuna is having the best year of his career. McGowan is on the IL for a few weeks, so it's going to be close if he's going to be able to hold on to this Rookie of the Year. But he is developing very rapidly, especially offensively. This guy's a stud. Not to mention he's got 22 stolen bases on the year, and he's only been caught twice. He should be back for the playoffs, no problem, and that is where we are headed here shortly. Here's a real test. 3-game set against LA. We win game 1, we win game 2, and we sweep the Dodgers. They have 101 wins right now. This is a very good sign. We've proven we can hang with the best. We're steamrolling to the finish line here. Last series of the year, we sweep the Royals for 96 wins. We go on to defeat the Tigers by 11 games this year. We ended up being ranked 9th offensively, so still not quite as good as some of these other teams up at the top. The Dodgers scored 980 runs. And the pitching staff did hold it together. That was my concern this year. We were 6th in ERA, really good. And we've got ourselves an award here, and McGowan secures the Rookie of the Year. He is going to be a big piece of this team for a long time, and what a start to the career. Meanwhile, Colson Montgomery wins a Gold Glove at short. Another really good year for him, 828 OPS here and 5.7 WAR. Kyle Teal ended up being our best overall hitter here with a 902 OPS, still mostly hitting against righties, but getting some lefties in there as well. We saw McGowan, Acuna was great all year, Montgomery, and Riley Green finished with an OPS above 800, Murakami right there behind him. Sean Burke ended up being our best pitcher by quite a lot, 2.89 ERA. I wasn't even sure if I was going to bring him back as he was asking for about $17 million in arbitration, but I am sure glad I did, and his stats look great. Knack with a 3.94, Reagan's 4.18, and Schultz 4.29. With Burke having that great season, he is going to be our ace for the playoffs, and Cole Reagans is going to move down to the 2 spot, followed by Knack and Schultz. Dodd and Brito, both Rule 5 pickups, will be in the setup role, and then Andres Munoz, of course, as our closer. Lineup is all set here. This is definitely the strength of the team, so hopefully they can get hot during the playoffs. For this first run, we'll be facing the winner of New York and Boston, who are both in the wild card, and simming ahead, it is going to be the Red Sox. They were one of 3 teams with 87 wins in a stacked AL East. Does our young core have what it takes for a deep playoff run? We lose game 1, win game 2, headed to Boston, we lose game 3, it's all on the line in game 4, and we are eliminated in the division series. Just like that, it is all over. We're knocked out very quickly as the Red Sox do end up winning it all, taking down the Brewers. The Dodgers didn't even make it to the World Series. Obviously a huge step forward in both the regular season and making it to the postseason there, but we've got to make deeper runs than that. Headed into 2030, we've got to supplement the team with some even better free agents and try to get this over the line. Once again, I've got a lot of money to play with here, so I should be able to add some serious talent. On top of that, I'll be able to bring up some of our younger guys like Craig Jarvis, our very first draft pick. Not quite ace material yet, but as Ottavino mentioned, he's going to be a huge part of this team going forward. I'm still a year away from our 99 potential prospect Tyler Stevenson coming up, so I think first base is Murakami's for at least one more season. 2 more years of team control, and it's likely that I'm going to have to trade him after this year. The number 1 free agent is a guy by the name of Paul Skeens. Is there a world where he could become a Chicago White Sox? He wants 7 years, $45 million. I've got the money for it, it's just whether or not I can actually get this deal over the line. Obviously, we've got a ton of starting pitching on the way up, but nobody's going to be as good as Paul Skeens. And a rotation with him and Cole Reagans as our 1 and 2 feels pretty strong when it comes playoff time. I don't know if we're going to be able to land Skeens, though. It's another now or never. I want to just go for 6 years, but sweeten the pot a bunch to $48.5 million. The anticipation, the tension. Paul Skeens is on the White Sox. We've got the Pens. Holy shit. That is a lot of money. I have never signed Skeens in free agency. This felt like the perfect video to do it as we get into our real peak, our real dynasty. Taking Paul Skeens and putting him in my rotation, I can't lie to you, that feels pretty good. This was a big move. Now I just need to land a closer, and I'm liking Cade Smith over Mason Miller just because Miller's not quite got the control, and Cade Smith is losing a little bit on hits per 9, but with 85 control, I mean, it's hard to pass that up. Cade Smith is pretty interested here. I'm going to go 3 years, and we'll bump it up to $18 million. Like I said before, we've got plenty of money to work with. All right, here we go. Can we land another top free agent? Cade Smith, what do you think? And we got the Pens. Paul Skeens and Cade Smith in the same offseason. We're not your dad's White Sox anymore. We are pretty much the Dodgers. And with that, it is now time for Phase 3, winning. Headed towards the finish line here, last series of the year against Houston, and we win it to finish off with 94 wins. Not quite as good as last year, but still really good. Paul Skeens did not have his best season by ERA, but he did lead the league in strikeouts with 271 and 5.1 WAR. Sean Burke was once again our best starter with a 3.21 ERA. This guy continues to impress me. Jarvis, Schultz, and Reagans all kind of struggled, and Reagans just keeps disappointing me a little bit here. Pretty good from Craig Jarvis in his first year, though. He finished the season cold, but he went from 78 overall up to 82, continuing to develop rapidly. All the stats are just getting better and better. Offensively, we were led by Kyle Teal, who had an unbelievable season. 996 OPS with 40 home runs in 131 games. He's got 72 power against righties, but as you can see, the contact being maxed out, that is really what is making him successful. Combining that in the bottom right there, you see the discipline, so he's making good plate decisions. He's getting his A swing off a lot, and that is what's making him so successful. Other notable result here, Tyler Stevenson. I told you this guy was going to be a problem. 973 OPS through September. He was our first rounder from 2028, and John McGowan, our first rounder from 2027, right there behind him, and Murakami with a good year. I do think it is going to be his last on the team, so let's get him a World Series title. Even though we won the division, we are a wildcard team, and we'll have to face off against Kansas City before getting the chance to play the Athletics. And here is our rotation. I'm going Skeens, Burke, Reagans, and Jarvis, which means that Noah Schultz is going to be our long reliever. We're heavily favored against the Royals here. Hopefully we can take this series no problem. Skeens for game 1, we win. Burke for game 2, we win. And with that win, we face the Athletics now. This is a scary team with a lot of names that you know from their young core, and they were the ones who got Munoz, obviously Nick Kurtz, but on top of all that, they have a generational catcher named Daisuke Sasaki. This dude is incredible, and we've got to find a way to neutralize him in this series. Reagans kicks things off. I'm a little nervous based on how he did during the regular season, and we do lose the first game. Jarvis now versus Grayrod for the second game, we bounce back 10-6. I signed Paul Skeens for games like this, and he is facing former White Sox Shane Smith. This is a huge game. Winner of this one has 2 chances to move on to the CS, and here we go. Skeens versus Smith, we win 5-3. Sean Burke, our most consistent starter throughout the video, can push us to the next series. Here goes game 4, which we win, and we'll be taking on the Yankees. 37-year-old Aaron Judge can still hit, that is for sure. Almost maxed out contact, almost maxed out power, especially against righties, every quirk in the game. Besides him, you have 90 overall Ben Rice and 99 overall Ellie De La Cruz at short. Maybe the scariest thing about them, though, is their starting rotation with Hunter Brown, Logan Webb, and Max Fried. That is disgusting. The biggest game and the biggest series for this new White Sox team. We're headed to the Bronx. I don't like facing the Yankees, but these guys are leading the charge today with Paul Skeens at the helm. On the other side, Logan Webb, flanked by Aaron Judge and Ellie De La Cruz. This is going to be a great series as Tyler Stevenson has a runner on in the first. Swing and a miss, the 99 potential prospect, not able to get it done. Logan Webb gets out of the inning. Here comes Paul Skeens. Hasn't walked anybody in the playoffs, but he's given up way too many hits. He's got a 5 ERA. 3-1 here to Ellie De La Cruz. Yanks it to the backstop. That's a walk. Leadoff runner on for Aaron Judge. Another 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. That could have been challenged. That was close, but it's another walk. So 2 on with nobody out. And Rafael Devers at the plate. Yes, you heard me right. That's in the dirt. Teal blocks it, but he gets away. Runners move to second and third. Still nobody out. Skeens clearly feeling it. Biggest game of his career, 3-2 to Devers. That is in play. We're gonna get an out here, but we're gonna trade a run for it. It's 1-0 Yankees. Bottom of the second now, Nolan Gorman makes some good contact. That's headed into right. McGowan tracking it, and he looks up. It's gonna be over his head and into the bullpen. Nearly hits a reliever. 3-0 Yankees, and we're in the second inning. Devers again. 2 strikes. 2 outs, another one yanked to the backstop by Skeens. What is going on with our ace today? He is feeling the heat. Murakami finally gets us on the board. It took till the top of the 7th inning. We're still down 4-1, but we're cooking something here with 2 on for Murakami again. A 1-2. He went around, strike 3. That means we'll head to the 9th. Still down 3. Kyle Teal, that's at your head. He takes a hack at it, swings and misses. 2 outs. Final batter of the game. Riley Green, what do you got? 3-2 on the corner. Strike 3. Yanks take game 1. That was not great, but what is great is in the top right of the bracket, Milwaukee took down the Dodgers in 5 games. I just now noticed this, and they had 110 wins last year. They're the best team in the league. Now the Braves are still in it. They're playing Milwaukee right now, and they had 100 wins last year. We just got to focus on our game, and in game 2, it's Sean Burke versus Hunter Brown, which we lose, and our backs are against the wall as we head home for game 3, which we win. Game 4, we tie the series up. Top 3 in our lineup are all hot here as we head into game 5. A White Sox crowd that has been waiting for a dominant team to return to the South Side. Very excited for today. We've come back from down 2 to win the last 2 here, and we're back into this series with Paul Skeens warming up for his second start of the CS. On the other side, it's Cam Schlittler this time, the young righty. Well, he was young, at least in real life. Some time has passed, and there he is leading the charge. Maybe at home, Skeens will be a little more focused and a little more comfortable. He was pretty amped up in game 1 that we saw in New York City. Picking it up in the 3rd, scoreless. Aaron Judge at the plate, strikes out. Skeens is looking good so far. Schlittler delivers a pitch here that's hung over the middle. Orelvis Martinez, a bench bat that's deep to the track, to the wall, caught just in front of the wall. Now we go to the top of the 4th with a runner on second. Francisco Alvarez up the middle. This Yankees lineup has no breaks in it. Here's Cody Bellinger in the 7 spot. Runners on the corners. That misses just up. No challenge again here. Bases loaded. Nolan Gorman walks. Skeens gives up the first run of the game, and it's Devers crossing home plate. Now we go to the top of the 5th. Judge again. Another high pitch. This time Judge does not miss. That is in the seats, and it's 2-0 New York. Now we're trying to make a comeback here in the bottom of the 8th. And that is not looking likely, but this gets down. Braden Montgomery, big moment for the young star. We've got something going here. John McGowan at the plate. That's hit well. Out into left. It's high, but it's gonna hang up, and it's caught again on the track. That's with 2 runners on. Nothing doing, so we go to the bottom of the 9th. And another big hit. Riley Green. This game is not over yet. Huge opportunity right here for Colson Montgomery. Lefty-lefty against AJ Puck, who delivers. That's grounded to second base, flip to Ellie De La Cruz, and with that good arm, he gets a double play. Yankees go up 3-2 in the series. 11 Ks for Skeens, and at the end of the day, the pitching staff really did its job there. Just offensively, we could not get anything going. Maybe I'm the bad luck charm. When I enter the games, it seems like we're just not able to get any offense going. So for game 6, I'm going to simulate Sean Burke versus Hunter Brown, which we win 9-3. McGowan with a double and a triple, and then Montgomery, Mydra, and Murakami all homered. Truly, I think I am the bad luck charm. On the other side of the bracket, Atlanta has defeated Milwaukee in 5 games. And for us, we have to play a game 7. There's never been more pressure for anybody on this roster. Cole Reagans versus Logan Webb, and we win, and we will be taking on those Braves in the World Series. 8 shutout innings for Cole Reagans. That is the best start of his White Sox career, and it comes in a Game 7, which I did not enter because I'm scared right now since I've just been bad juju. So we have got a date with this Braves roster, which seemingly has nobody lower than 80 overall. Even their C potential guy, Logan Allen, has gotten up to 80 overall. But they've also added Jarren Duran, who's pushed past his ceiling this year, and Jeremy Pena, along with Logan Gilbert as their ace and Mason Miller as the closer. This is not going to be an easy team to beat. Welcome to the World Series. I am facing my fears and entering this game. Atlanta wants the crown. Tell you what, so do I. Logan Gilbert heads to the mound as the Braves ace. He is a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner in this save file. This is not going to be easy today. And guess who? Craig Jarvis, who has been excellent in the playoffs, goes head-to-head with Logan Gilbert. Here he is in the bottom of the first. That's Pavin Smith, and that is going to get down for a one-out base hit. Now we've got Jeremy Pena, very good contact hitter, shortstop for the Braves, this loaded team, and he gets that pitch on the inside, turns on it. That's going back to the track, and it's over the wall. Two-run shot in the bottom of the first, a jolt to Craig Jarvis, and now here is Michael Harris, and the Braves go back to back. It's not looking good early. And it wouldn't get any better. It's now 8-0 in the sixth. The whole pitching staff struggles as the Braves crush us in game one. Rotation order is about to flip back over to Skeens, Burke, and Reagan, so I'm feeling a little bit better, but I think I have to take Jarvis out just because of how many lefties, like I mentioned, that the Braves have in that lineup. Maybe I'm overmanaging and overthinking it a little bit. I mean, Pena and Riley are right-handed, but Harris, Duran, they're both lefties, Turang, Baldwin, all lefties. But then I look at it and Turang actually is better against lefties. And so is Jarren Duran by quite a bit. I'm feeling the pressure here, but I'm changing my mind. Jarvis is back in the rotation. Until we have an opportunity to clinch, my ass is not entering another game. Game 2 is going to be Skeens versus Schwellenbach, which we win 3-1 before we go home. 3 games in a row at home. Burke for the first one, we win 4-3. Reagan's for the second one, and we lose 12-9. This means Craig Jarvis is starting again. Game 5 is all his. The young righty, the chosen one, anointed by Adam Ottavino to be an ace for us. I've done the scouting. He's the best man for the job. I am simulating in 3, 2, 1. We win 5-4. Wow, Riley homers, but it's not enough, and we end up getting RBIs from McGowan, Montgomery, and Murakami, the usual suspects. Jarvis did give up all 4 of those runs, so thankfully our bullpen came in and shut it down from there. Up 3-2 in the series, we've got a chance to win the World Series tonight. It'll be Sandy Alcantara for the Braves going up against our ace, Paul Skeens, who needs a good playoff start, and so far through 4 innings, both of these pitchers are pitching well. No runs as we head into the bottom of the 5th. Matt Olson, first baseman at the plate in a hitter's count. Skeens delivers. That is a no-doubter, dead center field. And the Braves are going to take the first lead in Game 6 with their backs against the wall. Jarren Duran puts that one over the chop house. It's back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the 5th. That doubles the Braves' lead to 2-0. It's looking like this series is going to get evened up. We don't get an opportunity until the top of the 9th. Tyler Stevenson leads off. That's in the corner. It'll be extra bases. All of a sudden, we've got an opportunity to make a comeback. Colson Montgomery, and he gets jammed right there back to the catcher. And that's caught for 2 outs. We're down to our final chance. Luis Angel Acuna against Mason Miller. He's not catching up to that heater. And the Braves win Game 6, evening up the World Series. This is not over. I am so nervous to enter this game, but of course we can't miss a Game 7 of the World Series. Here we go. It comes down to this. Game 7, winner is a world champion, loser goes home. For the Braves is Andrew Abbott, the left-handed starter. Here's Riley Green. He strikes out to end the first. Abbott has a clean inning. Coming up for us is Sean Burke, maybe our best pitcher throughout this entire rebuild. He's in the bottom of the first now. Jeremy Pena's at the plate. Here's the pitch, and he got him. Both pitchers trade strikeouts to have clean innings, and that is how this game would go. It's an epic pitcher's duel. Strikeout for Burke, strikeout for Abbott. Murakami goes down there. Back to Burke. Riley, slider, chases it away. Burke, Abbott, back and forth. Nobody could crack anything, even when we get an opportunity. No one can get a run until this moment. Edgar Cuero, we're on the board. 1-0 White Sox in Game 7. I have watched like 3 hours of gameplay for a moment like this. Biggest swing of his career, the biggest swing that you could have at really any point of your career, a solo shot to put us up in Game 7. As long as our bullpen can hold this together, we are going to be world champions. Now he faces Jeremy Pena. 2-2 pitch, and he got him too. I would really like to get some more runs. Murakami's at the plate. That is a base hit into left. Durant fields it, throw home. Green is headed to the plate, not in time. 2-0 Chicago. But we have put ourselves in great position with Cade Smith coming in. Ran is up first, and that is flown out into right. Montgomery makes the catch, 1 down. Cade Smith, downhill, grounder, first base, Murakami gathers it, 2 outs. It all comes down to this. Atlanta, down to their final strike. White Sox, trying to reach the top of the mountain for the first time since 2005. Cade Smith delivers strike 3, and he got him. It took 7 games, but we finally got it done and broke the curse of me entering games and our team not being able to hit at all. A long and challenging playoff run culminates in a World Series title. Manfred hands it over to coach. The White Sox have won the 2030 World Series.